Hey, what is going on, everybody? Hope you're having a nice Dead by Daylight. I know I sure am. And something I want to start doing, a quick video. I'm going to be talking about the Shrine of Secrets, hopefully giving you a good idea of what's available in the shrine and whether or not it's going to be worth spending your eerie shards on. So let's get right into it, given a TLDR of each of the perks in the shrine. As always, 2 survivor, 2 killer perks. We've got Borrowed Time, we've got Built to Last, we've got Brutal Strength, and we've got Zanshin Tactics. A kind of brief opinion on all of these: good, very good, good, and pretty shitty. So now let's talk about why I deem them so. Starting Borrowed Time is good. This is showing the tier 2 version, as I don't have Bill all the way up to P3, but I do have all of his teachables from back in the old days when it was teachables. Basically, what this is going to do is it's going to extend the duration of the movement speed and endurance that a survivor gets when they're coming off the hook by 10 seconds at tier 3. I believe it is 10 seconds. This is pretty good. It's not the best thing in the world. Borrowed Time isn't as necessary anymore now that you are basically given it base kit. Anytime you unhook a survivor, you get that survivor gets the 10 seconds of endurance and a nice 10 seconds of movement speed. I believe it is 10% movement speed. So this just extends that further. It's very good. If you use it in the end game, it pretty much guarantees an escape, assuming the hook is next to a door of some kind or within close proximity. But like I said, not necessarily something you see on every survivor these days due to the fact that it is a base kit perk. Next, we have Built to Last. Built to Last is absolutely nuts in my opinion. I think it's actually probably one of the better perks in the game, one of the best maybe for survivors. The really only reason you just don't see it all that often, I think, is because you typically have to pair it with an item that is worthy to use it on. But honestly, even just an item without any add-ons, a yellow medkit, yellow toolbox, still going to be pretty good with Built to Last. So what Built to Last does is when you deplete an item of its charges, if you hide in a locker for 12 seconds, 99% of that item's charges are going to be refilled, and you can use this multiple times. The next time you do it, it is 66%. Next time you do it, it's 33%, and then the perk deactivates after that, and you can't use it anymore. It effectively triples the longevity of an item you might have. Pair this with a really, really strong medkit, a high-end purple medkit with a lot of charges, and even just 1 speed add-on, and you can heal yourself a ton of times with pretty reasonable speed. You can pair this with a toolbox to use it on a lot of different generators, really speed up the later game, save it for maybe the last 2 generators, and you could just plow through the last 2 generators like it's nothing. A commodious toolbox with a brand new part and 1 charge time add-on plus Built to Last. You are just going to be shredding generators, I'll tell you that right now. It is a very, very solid perk. Really, really nasty stuff if you pair it with a good item, and items right now, at least medkits and toolboxes, are still very, very solid in Dead by Daylight. Moving on to the killer perks, we've got Brutal Strength here. Brutal Strength is a pretty decent perk. It's actually pretty solid, honestly, ever since they buffed the base kit pallet breaking time. Now it actually does feel quite fast, and it feels like that running Brutal Strength can oftentimes get you hits that you might not have gotten before if you only were going with the base breaking speed. It also affects the speed at which you kick generators as well as breakable walls, so that is a very nice feature of the perk, albeit I think the pallet breaking is probably what most people are using it for. It's a very nice perk. It kind of encourages you to respect pallets, which isn't always the best thing you want to do. However, it is very good against, god pallets that, you might end up just not being... Survivor might end up pre-dropping them anyways. Great against pre-dropping survivors. Really, all in all, a nice, solid perk that might be worth putting into your loadout. And lastly, we have Zanshin Tactics. This perk is not good. It's effectively the killer's version of Windows of Opportunity. It lets you see pallets, breakable walls, and vault locations within 32 meters of you. This doesn't matter. Whereas Survivor, you're really kind of caring about these resources a lot and really need to know where the resources are. As Killer, it's not as big of a deal. If you're a newer player to the game, this can help you understand how loops are laid out. But once you've got a good number of hours under your belt and you sort of understand, how a pallet gym is laid out, how a T&L is laid out, how the shack is laid out, etc., etc., then you're kind of going to be able to figure out on the fly how the map's going to be laid out, and you're not really going to need this perk. I have heard it's kind of decent on killers like Pyramid Head, or any killer that can, hit through a wall, or range killers, etc. It's pretty good on them, I've heard, as like kind of a quality of life perk, just to be able to hit, like, know where to aim your power. But overall, kind of a waste of a perk slot. I would not recommend picking this up. Last thing, I totally forgot to mention this, but Borrowed Time and Brutal Strength are both available on free characters. Brutal Strength being available on the Trapper, Borrowed Time being available on Bill. So honestly, I would recommend saving your shards on both of these and instead spending the blood points to prestige the Trapper and the Bill respectively. If you are going to spend your shards on anything this week, I would say Built to Last is a solid pickup, because it is a very, very good perk, as well as being available on a DLC character, that being Felix Richter. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this, and until next time, I will be seeing you later.